Hello, have you ever heard of the Winx Club? Famous magical girl show of girls being magical and saving the world. And if you haven't heard of it, I don't know why you're here, but welcome. This is a video about a movie that came out in 2007 called Winx Secret of the Lost Kingdom. This was a spin-off movie of the Winx Club TV show that aired during a certain period of time. I think it's still airing. I don't know. But it has horrible redesigns. It has an incredible 79% rating on Rotten Tomatoes, I think, with no critic score. Because they can't handle all that perfection. The movie's available on YouTube. Like, you can just watch it on YouTube for free. I need to take off these glasses because I won't see shit. Anyways. So the movie right off the bat starts, like in the first scene is like a fortress break-in. It's like high in suspense and mystery and super dark and gloomy vibes and low in context because who the fuck needs context? And then, yeah, the sound design is so bad. Then I love it. And you guys, the first time we see the girls' faces, they're like taking off their clothes to transform and they appear to be naked underneath. And did they run out of budget to animate their clothes? Or like, was this an artistic choice to make them all like glowy, smooth silhouettes? Of course, the first thing you do when you sneak into a fortress is yell out loud. So that's exactly what they do.
Yoo-hoo! Anybody home?
So, lo and behold, evil robots and like with glowy swords, lightsabers, like show up and like try to murder them. And then, of course, they transform, and the best Winx transformation song takes place, which is obviously Enchantix. These transformations are so iconic. Of course, these are not the OG ones, like that's the 2D ones. These are like 3D, but this is the best 3D animation we ever get in this franchise. I'm gonna rank the girls' transformations based on how much I like them. This is my opinion, and it is fact. I think from worst to best, Muse is the worst, unfortunately. I think it's so short and not at all very exciting. And then Aisha with the pink goo transformation, because like she's the like fairy of the waves, but her transformations are always like slime. At least these ones. I don't know about the new ones. It looks like pink slime and it's a little weird. That's my whole justification. And then Tekna. I really like Tekna's transformation. I know it's not everyone's favorite. That's why I kind of put it in the middle of the list, because it's like a personal one that I really like. I think it's very different from the other ones and very creative. And then there's Stella's transformation, always iconic. It's purely for the iconic status because like she goes first and she's like super dramatic and, you know, Stella. And then the second best is Flora's transformation. I think it's beautiful and I think it might be Flora's best transformation. And then Bloom, I think Bloom's the best one. She has the longest transformation, like it takes forever. And she has a dragon. She sets the screen on fire. I also really liked Bloom when I was younger, so I might be biased. Why did I like Bloom? She had red hair and she set things on fire. That was my criteria. And then they fight the robots. Everyone is useless besides Bloom and Tekna. Like, what is Muse gonna do? She doesn't do anything, but she sends like waves, like sound waves. That doesn't, like, everyone is useless instead of Bloom and Tekna because like they're robots, so Tekna has stuff to do, and Bloom is an arsonist, so that's her job. Setting, like, she burns stone somehow actually, because of course she does. And then they meet the headmistress's ex-situationship, a guy that's for real called Hagen, master of the shiny steel, and that's his name, and I'm super cool with that. And then we're at college, the OG college, Althea, and yay, it's graduation day somehow, all of a sudden. And then Winx has officially finished their bachelor's degree in magic, I'm pretty sure, except Bloom, of course, because she can't graduate because she's an orphan, obviously. And because of that, she's sad. She's sad because she's an orphan, and she's sad because she can't graduate because she's an orphan. Anyway, their boyfriends arrive in matching outfits like the boy band they are. and they weirdly look like they're out for blood for some reason. Like, they look pissed off, like they want to get in a fight. Moving on. The girls, except for Bloom, graduate by being given jewelry boxes with more power in them. Iconic. Riven is acting like the insufferable dick that he is, as usual, and our girl Musa thinks that she can fix him. Girl, no. Every bad thing that happens in the Winx universe usually happens because of Riven, and I think we don't talk about that enough. Like, he has a problem, and he is the problem in everyone else's lives in this universe. Sky shows up for like 15 minutes and then fucks off to set up the third act twist. And then Bloom is still sad and now also insecure about their relationship. Like, Girly is not okay at all in the beginning of this movie. Actually, throughout the entire movie, Girl's just unwell. The girls have a sapphic birthday party without their accessory boyfriends. And that's peak girlhood to me. Like, they ditched their boyfriends. They came all the way, like, for their graduation and stuff, but they entirely ditched them and have, like, a pajama party. Very sapphically coded, if you ask me. And then there's a sad Bloom scene, like number 32 of the sad Bloom scenes. Our girl is not having a great time, and then the ghost of her dead sister shows up, and her dead sister ghost exposition dumps for like a couple minutes, and now we're on a mission to defrost Bloom's kingdom. Also, evil antagonist witches have their evil antagonist speech, as is tradition. And then, boom, we're here in Bloom's shitty frozen tundra of a planet. Everyone's wearing color-coded cat suits in the tundra, obviously. And then they run into a giant bird rock called Rock, and it tries to murder them immediately. And Musa sings. How wonderful. And they escape because Rock is actually like a spiritual test or something, and like it's unclear. What is clear is that they finally make it to the crusty old castle. Inside they meet this ghostly librarian man whose name is legit Bartleby. I'm not sure if he's a ghost or not actually, but like no one questions why he's there. Like they just roll with it, and so do I. He gives Bloom this book of fate which has the entire lore that she needs to know, and it's just like 3 pages of lore. Anyway, Bloom's parents didn't die actually, according to the lore. They're like in a magical hard drive waiting to be like let out. So their dad turned into a statue and her mom is trapped in the sword. Have you seen K-pop Demon Hunters actually? I think when the guy gave her his soul, he went into the sword because her sword got upgraded. So maybe they ripped this off. Or maybe it's just cool to have people inside swords. But yeah, her mom's a sword and dad's a statue. And so's like everyone else, I think. Not entirely sure. Maybe there was a genocide. I don't know. And then there's a prophecy, of course. 6 fairy warriors, a king with no crown, and the power of the dragon flame will restore Domino. By the way, Domino is the name of Bloom's kingdom. Kingdom planet. Thing. In case you didn't know. Guess who that king is? Spoiler, it's Sky, because he has to be plot essential somehow. So the squad heads to the Obsidian Realm, aka literal hell, and the villain is there, a lady named Mandragora. Like, she appeared before, I barely mentioned her, she's barely relevant. She shows up and she talks evil. She's being puppeted by like the ancestral witches. They're crusty and they're dramatic and they have evil lighting and evil monologues. And the Winx fight Mandragora, but she goes full final boss mode. She straight up chokes Bloom with magic. Also, Riven gets possessed for like 2 seconds because the boy can't go 5 minutes without being a liability for every single Winx story. We get the classic all hope is lost moment. Bloom is crying on the floor. Everyone's down bad. Mandragora is feeling herself. Like, it's weirdly sexual. And then Daphne, the dead ghost sister, pulls a fusion dance. Like, she literally merges with Bloom and like, it's get up, it's dragon flame time. Sky picks up the sword from King Oritel, and gets electrocuted and has a fake death moment, because of course he does. And then he makes a Mandragora kebab, basically, after waiting until it was dramatically appropriate. Like, he just had to wait a little bit. That fulfills the prophecy, I guess. And together they like yeet Mandragora into oblivion. Boom, obsidian crumbles, the curse is broken, everyone is fine somehow, even though the building collapsed on them. That's okay. And then, like, people start defrosting, everyone's floating somehow. Like, Bloom and Sky have a conversation while they're floating. Her dad's just confused. What the fuck is happening? Why am I floating? And then they somehow reach the ground, and her mom comes out of the sword. There's a bunch of people confused, and her parents are like, we love you. Sorry we were in hell for like 16 years. They hug it out. Cue sparkles, cue swelling music, and then cut to a casual ball of celebration in Domino with like 6 people. Like, there's so few people at this ball. It's so confusing. Sky proposes to Bloom with like the minimal amount of effort possible, like mid-dance. But it's cute, I guess. But like, Brandon gives him the ring mid-dance. He's a king. I was expecting more. It was really cute. I really liked it when I was a kid. In retrospect, it feels very low effort and public. I don't know. And then she says yes, obviously, and even though he literally disappeared for like half the movie, and then he just shows up to pull a sword out of his rock, King Arthur style, and do a mandragora kebab, and yeah, fine. Also, I always wondered how their marriage works. Like, if Sky's a king and Bloom is, I presume, a crown princess, because like there have no other heirs in Domino, like they have their own crowns. Like, Bloom can't ditch Domino and live with another ruler, right? She's a ruler in her own right. Like, do they combine kingdoms? I think they're different planets. Like, is that a thing? Like, I'm probably thinking about this more than they actually thought about it, but I was thinking about this even when I was little. That's true. I was thinking about the kingdoms. But wait. In the last scene, like, the tricks from like the original show, but like in 3D animation this time, and they get possessed by the ancestral witches, like, surprise, bitches. And then credits, there's no closure, there's no explanation. The cliffhanger goes nowhere because I don't think there was a sequel. I don't remember there being a sequel. I would be aware if there was, probably, because I was obsessed with this movie. Like, I destroyed that DVD. Like, I had it, I still do. It's ruined. That's why I watch it on YouTube now. Final verdict. The plot makes no sense, but it feels like it does when you're 6, and that's the Winx magic. Every character is insufferable, and I love them, except Riven. He can wander into traffic. Enchantix is still the best transformation, and that's not up for debate. And thank you for coming to my TED Talk about Winx Secret of the Lost Kingdom, an aggressively unhinged masterpiece that I love. Thank you. There's a movie that came out called City of the Lost Kingdom. No, Secret of the Lost... Fuck.